I'll talk about some Resident Evil Requiem. Picked that up. I'm about halfway through the game at the moment. I'm having a lot of fun.
I've heard it's been beat in 3 hours.
Yeah, no, the fastest one that I saw was Gene Park at 2 hours 30 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah, that was the fastest that I've seen so far. I mean, and me saying I'm halfway through the game.
I mean, that makes sense though, because I mean, once you learn the grace parts, that's the hard part. Is just finding the stuff.
Yeah,
It's one where it's like, after a few runs, it's a type of game where you can, like, Resident Evil is always those type of games where it's like, you get through them quick once you know
Once you know where the stuff is.
Once you know the routing, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, because like even with Gene's like 230 that he shared, it's like, now keep in mind this was on like my third or fourth playthrough because that dude already beat the game 9 times, which is crazy. Yeah, and he gave receipts. He's like, guys, I love Resident Evil. This is my favorite franchise. Yes, I beat this game 9 times. I'm reviewing it.
Yeah.
So shout out. That's
I mean,
cool.
out of the most recent, I mean, it looks a lot more solid to me and more interesting than Village did.
Yeah.
It is sort of funny, the whole. I did love a comparison people were showing Requiem of like Leon struggling with stuff back in like when he started out in like 4 leading up to now. Like 4, he like struggled to lift a bookshelf. Now he just shoves that stuff over with a single hand.
Yeah.
When he's now like 60 and he was like 35 back at 4, something like crap like that.
Yeah, no, the Leon segments is the Leon parts of the game are pretty entertaining because, man, Leon is just there to be he is there to be a thirst trap. That is what he's there for. He is there to be sexy with a very tight shirt. He's a thirst trap. 1000%.
I think my favorite streamer title I've seen this week for Requiem was it was a female VTuber who was like, I'll hold off Leon. You go on without me. Don't worry.
Accurate. That is everyone's opinion on Leon.
And then another one. I actually don't know the streamer's name. I should know now by how much crap of hers I see now. But she apparently usually has a lot of mods on her Resident Evil games, and it's just the middle of a cutscene and Leon's suddenly missing his shirt, and she's like, "Oh no, Leon lost his shirt." Or whatever we do.
How could that have happened?
I didn't mod the game.
I've been seeing some clips. I don't know if it's the same person because the one I've been seeing who's like that, she's like, I don't mod my Resident Evil games, and then something ridiculous happens.
Like Master Chief shows up. I think it's the exact same person.
Yeah, because I think that's Stormfall.
Is that her name? Okay.
Yeah. No, that's great. That'd be like the same thing with Queso doing anything with Chris Redfield. Just like, oh no, Chris Redfield's shirt came off. Oh, how'd that happen? Oh God. No, Resident Evil Requiem, I'm about halfway through the game at the moment, which is not saying a lot in terms of playtime. I'm probably only like 4 to 5 hours in right now. I'm having a lot of fun. Man, the thing that, story-wise, I don't think there's anything that needs to be talked about from one, spoiler perspective, obviously, as things continue to get uncovered, and 2, all of the marketing gives you the story you need to know.
Gotcha.
You know, Grace, new character, she's an FBI, has a little bit of her past with her mom. Mom's dead, stuff we've seen already. Leon's in the game. Yeah, Leon's got weird black stuff on his hand and neck. Leon's got a tight t-shirt and he's sexy. Like we know what's going on based on marketing.
Grace section, scary. Leon section, fuck you.
Basically, yes.
Leon's literally, I've been doing this for years. It's just routine work.
It really is.
It really is. Damn it, I gotta keep doing this shit.
Yeah, no. So like in terms of story, there's nothing that I want to talk about.
I am curious. Is there ever any kind of reference that we're aware of, like even in documents referencing Ethan at all?
At least so far in this, no. Okay. Unless I've missed it.
So I was very curious of whether they've just completely
moved on and
cut Ethan off at this point, and like his 2 games happen, and we're just like,
No, I haven't seen anything yet, but that could change. But no, the things that I do want to talk about though is that back and forth that John mentioned between Grace and Leon, because so by game default, the way that it comes in and set up is that, all of Grace's stuff, of course, is in first person.
Yep.
All of Leon's in third person for the action stuff, action versus horror. And you can fully customize it, which is just goes to Capcom's accessibility they have. They have the motion sickness options and everything of the sort. You can go full third person, full first if you want to swap the 2 of them, whatever you want to do. And so I've started Grace's part of the game in first person. Christina was watching me play, and she was still getting motion sickness, even with the motion sickness stuff on. So I did end up turning it off. But I got to say, like, the back and forth going from that first person part of all of Grace's segments to Leon, it really is like that. okay, go take a breather. Because like, yeah, there was some pretty creepy stuff, you know, and being in that first person field, first person horror games are by default always naturally more scary, right? Lower field of view, you feel like you're actually in it. And like, you really felt that way. So it's like, I'm going through these different parts of Grace here in these first portions of the game. And then each time when I get to have my break, as I called it, you know, to go play Leon, because Leon's portions at the beginning are very short. Like, this game is about both of them. The end half of the game is really where Leon takes center stage, and it's fan service central, right? Where he returns to Raccoon City, which was in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything. But the first part of the game, Grace is the protagonist. Leon's just there. Because like, I'm not joking, you can finish Leon's parts in like 5 to 15 minutes.
Dang.
Like they're quick. You come in, you do Leon things, you go back to Grace. Like that, at least the portion of the game that I'm at. Now, to my understanding, obviously when the Raccoon City comes up, that's where Leon takes center stage at the end half of the game. But it really is like as if you're like at work and you're like work's kicking your ass and stuff. And it's like, God, I'm going on my 15. That's basically what it is. Like you're having like, you know, a lot of different horror elements taking place with Grace, and it's like hop over to Leon. It's like, whew, all right, time to go kick some ass, take a little bit of a break, get a little bit of revenge, get this out of my system. And it's like you go through your 15-minute break, like, all right, I'm back to the horror. Let's go. So, you know, that's been a really interesting contrast of the back and forth. I've enjoyed that a lot. And I will say, when I swapped it to third-person Grace, so, you know, Christina, you know, wouldn't get motion sickness and keep watching, the scares went from like a 9 to a 5. Like it dropped aggressively for me, where it was nowhere near the same. I do appreciate how Capcom has handled the transition constantly to first and third if you kept the first on, because like it's like the amount of detail and work they put in, let's say, cutscenes, of where it's like the opening cutscenes of the game where you're seeing like Grace's, you know, pass with her mom at the hotel, whatever. I was still in third person, you know, or first person when I was watching that. So I'm experiencing that whole cutscene in first person.
Yeah.
But there's also the third person variant. So I do appreciate that, like, attention to detail between the two of them, you know, and then, you know, to further add the constant, like, night and day difference between the two characters is that, you know, Grace is super timid. She's obviously got PTSD. She's scarred with what happened to her mother, and now she's getting thrown into this huge, horrific situation of getting kidnapped. This whole thing taking place of her part of the game. Horrific, scary shit, creepy, you know, mutated, infected monsters that are like 12 feet tall hunting her and stuff like that. Then you go to Leon, and he's just snarky, sassy Leon making his jokes and doing roundhouse kicks. And it's like right from the jump, it's that way, which I just really appreciated I always appreciate that with Leon stuff, is that he's going to make his jokes. He's going to be a smart ass, and he's going to be a badass. Cause like John just said, I've done this 1,000 times. Here we fucking go again. Cause like, right when Leon gets introduced, you know, in the game after the first like one or two Grace sequences, whatever, you know, it's pretty kind of normal and stuff. And then it's like the guy that kidnaps Grace, the main antagonist, Dr. Victor Gideon, you know, he's just walking in public with Grace over his shoulder, just walking down the sidewalk of the city. And Leon's like looking at his car. He's like, are you shitting me? And he just gets out of the car. He's like, you're joking right now. You know, this is the same thing as the game continues to, you know, progress. You know, him and, you know, Leon and Victor are sitting there talking, and, you know, Victor's like, you know, going on his evil bad guy monologue and stuff. And Leon's just like, yeah, I got a question. When was the last time you brushed your teeth? You know, it's just like those quick little smart ass, like, you know, comments throughout the whole thing. You know, and, you know, with the whole, you know, like, you know, again, the joke John made where it's like Leon's like, oh God, here we go again. Nothing phases that dude. And it's just, you know, obviously that's a given at this point, you know, going through, you know, his original game at 2, then to 4, then to 6. We try to forget about 6 though, of course. Yeah, it's just nothing phases him at this point.
The Leon part was the best of 6.
I 1000% agree, but we still forget about 6.
I just care about the Leon part in 6.
Leon's part in 6 was great.
We don't bother with Chris. It was okay,
Chris
not
was
awful.
Fine. The other guy was.
Then we don't even mention Jake.
That was his name.
Yeah.
I don't even remember his name.
We just don't even consider Jake's story.
Me and Brady played 6 all through co-op. We had a great time with Leon's. Chris was again fine. And then we were trying to do Jake's. We just couldn't. We dropped that one. But yeah, no, there was a point where Leon and Grace, they meet for the first time, and then naturally in true like horror game, Resident Evil, whatever game fashion, they're getting separated, whatever, by a slow closing door. And Leon is just so unfazed, and he's just like, whatever. Here's my super badass Requiem gun. You're gonna probably need this.
Oh, that's right. They do give Grace his Magnum.
Yeah, so he's just like, here, you're gonna need this, and he's just like looking down the hall. He's like, yeah, you're gonna probably need this, and the dude he's looking for is right down the hall. It's like, yeah, you're gonna need this. I gotta go take care of something. So, I've really enjoyed my time.
I'm very curious what it was like in the writers' room when there was like, so Leon's coming back. How are we writing Leon this time?
Old, dying, don't care.
Somebody in that meeting just went, fuck it.
Yeah.
So just like, what else Leon gone through? And they're looking at a Grace's story like, would he be phased by any of this stuff?
No, not at all. Like there was again in one of my 3 or 4 10-minute sequences, he's turns on an elevator. It's like the door for it's like slowly opening. He's just standing there, and then a bunch of infected wakes up behind him. He just turns around. He's just like, every time. So you start going through and you killing him. He's like, all right, well, there was my cardio for the week, and you just go get on the elevator. So it's like nothing phases him, and that's just something to appreciate. Whenever I was playing Resident Evil 4 remake, haven't played the Resident Evil 4 since the GameCube version when it had the good old purple only 4 sticker on it. Never played any of the re-releases. So it's like even when I was playing the Resident Evil 4 remake, it was always nice to get like that refresher of just him just not giving a fuck and just being a snarky, smart ass.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I've had a lot of fun. I'm super pumped to keep playing it. I hope I can play it more before I have to go out of town on Monday. Because I hope. I mean, it won't take me long to beat the game. I mean, like I'm not far from beating the game.
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really not. I would love to beat it before the end of the day tomorrow, but I've got a lot of editing to do with this show. But I've had a great time. Like I said, my favorite part is definitely the very stark night and day contrast between Grace and Leon's play styles. As it was advertised, it delivered.
I mean, I'm glad they delivered very well with Requiem versus Village.
Yeah, I mean, Village had.
Village had its points, but
yeah,
there was a stark thing of like people being like, "Oh, not what I was expecting."
Right. No, I mean this one delivers. It does. The Grace portions just for anyone that wants to pick this up and they haven't yet, whatever. Just be warned. Like the first part of the game where it's heavy on Grace. Like I'm not joking. Like you playing as Leon, it's 5 to 15 minute quick play sessions, and then you have like 30 minutes to an hour of Grace and going through all the different Grace stuff and the horror elements, sneaking around, trying not to die. So I've really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to finish it. I'm looking forward to finishing the game. Hopefully, I'll finish it by. I would love to finish it tonight, but I don't think I'm gonna finish it tonight. Maybe by end of Sunday if I have time after I finish editing. I'll finish the game. But I'm super excited for it. I did also pick up the generation pack for the Switch because I thought the box looked cool. So
I didn't even realize they released that.
Yeah, so it has 7, 8, and 9. It was $90. I think overall, honestly, that's a pretty good deal.
That's not bad.
Yeah, $90, cool box set to go with it.
I mean, mostly paying for the new game.
Yeah. I mean, I ended up, funny enough, buying this game twice because for this, I wanted the generation pack for the Switch too because number one, that's what Christina wanted to play it on, and plus, it is just a cool box to the shelf, and it was a good price, $90 for those 3 games. I'll take that. But I got the deluxe steelbook edition for the PS5.
Okay.
So, also, I guess I should touch on that. As we've talked about before, love when a developer actually uses the DualSense. Love it. Love when a developer actually uses the DualSense because it's like the first part of the game when it's raining, you can hear the rain in the controller, you can feel the raindrops in your hands, which is so weird. Anytime developers do this, whenever you're playing as Leon and he's on his comms with Sherry, the comms are coming through the controller. So I love when developers actually use the DualSense. That is super cool. Big fan of that. But yeah, no, overall, having a great time. I would say my halfway point on the board, I'd probably give it an 8 as of now. Probably going to end up finishing at a 9. I've had a lot of fun with it. Looking forward to finishing it.